years.
Well, let's see what happens in the next 80 days, because Donald Trump is, if he watches this, he's got a very human side. I've seen it many times with people. And he might well conclude that he thinks you've been given a very rough deal here. I think most right-minded people probably do. If you take aside partisan politics, I think what you did is indefensible, but I don't think it deserved the extraordinarily long sentence you've been given. And I think most people probably would feel that way. And if Donald Trump does, he has got the power to do something about that. And you've made a personal plea to him for a pardon. And I think at the very least, they can make sure he sees it. And we'll see. It may be that he steps in. Is there anything you'd like to say to him before we conclude, just on a personal level?
On the most personal level, if I had the opportunity, I'd say President Trump, I'd appreciate if you can give me a consideration. I'm not an altar boy. I'm not pretending to be one, but I'm not a hardened criminal who deserves to be in prison for 7 years off of what I would call ambitious mistakes and something that I deeply regret. And I would like to take all of the bad I've done and transform it into a positive, even by being able to point out, who better peers and President Trump, I hope he would agree, is to be able to sniff out other bad actors doing similar actions that I did. I understand it. I can help. I can be an asset for the country, and I want to use that for the good. And I would appreciate if I can be given a second chance.
Well, everyone deserves a second chance, George. So whether President Trump intervenes or whether you end up serving your time, the good part for you is your youth, right? You'll be only in your mid-40s if you do serve the full sentence. That's plenty enough time when you come out to do something different with your life and to, atone perhaps for all the mistakes you've made, which you by then will have been duly punished for. I do think if society doesn't encourage the thought of second chances, and we're in a very, very brutal era of society where trial by social media doesn't like giving people second chances. I've interviewed lots of people, from Armie Hammer to Kevin Spacey to others, and the court of public opinion is like, that's it. You're done. You're cancelled for life. And I really think we have to move on from that as a society and go back to what it used to be like, which is that if people genuinely atone for what they've done and they admit their mistakes and they ask for forgiveness and they ask for a chance to do something else that is more beneficial to society, that society, a proper society, a democratic society that is based around kindness and empathy and compassion as well as other things, should be able to do that.